The United Kingdom has accused China of having ruthlessly targeted its commercial and academic institutions as part of what it sees as Beijing's ambition to become an economic and technological superpower. This warning was relayed alongside a report from the UK Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee. The committee says that Britain's approach to China as a national security threat was, quote, completely inadequate. It added that the current national security strategy was focused on short-term economics rather than long-term risks. Ollie Barrett joins us live now from London to tell us more about this. Ollie, words like ruthless, ambition, no less, they're pretty sort of quite the accusations. Could you share with us what the report actually says are the UK's biggest concerns about China?
Yes, Dawn, the report is very damning indeed of what it says is a series of failings on the behalf of the UK government. The ISC is made up of a panel of cross-party MPs in the UK's Parliament, and this long report contains a list of what it sees as failings on behalf of the UK government. It talks about Chinese intelligence having been able to, in the words of the report, aggressively target the UK. It talks about every sector of the UK economy, according to the report, having been penetrated in some way by China. It talks of a lack of an effective strategy from the government to deal with national security threats that the report says are posed by Beijing. It says completely inadequate resources have been devoted to trying to tackle or counter the threat posed by China. It calls a lack of meaningful scrutiny, it says, there has been of investment deals that involve China. It talks about the targeting that it claims there has been by China of UK academia. It says that the UK government needs to, in its words, make sure that security concerns are not constantly trumped by economic interest, and it raises fears that UK critical infrastructure may be under threat because of Chinese involvement in sectors like the energy industry. So these crossbench MPs and the report that they've put together really is damning about, as I say, what it believes is a series of failings on the behalf of the UK government when it comes to strategy towards China in recent years.
Right. So the report does raise some important questions, Ollie, but it also begs the question what kind of impact or teeth this report is actually going to have on the UK and whether we're going to see any major changes in the way in which the UK deals with China.
Well, we've had a direct response from the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, to this report, and he says that he believes that actually much of the research that went into this report was done over the last 2 or 3 years, and he says that he believes that since the report has been put together and published, that actually a lot of the changes that it recommends have already been put in place by the UK government. That says he describes himself, Rishi Sunak, as keenly aware. He says that there is more to do in this area. He says that he does believe that China, in his words, poses an epoch-defining challenge to the international order. But at the same time, Rishi Sunak says that he wants open and constructive relations with Beijing and that is what he is going to pursue. He's in a difficult spot, though, Rishi Sunak, because there are quite a few Conservative MPs in his own party that think he should be taking a much tougher line when it comes to China. One of those is the former Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who believes that Rishi Sunak's government should be much more hawkish with regards to its dealings with Beijing. But Rishi Sunak, as I say, insisting that you have to have relations with China, you have to do business on things like trade ties, climate change, and so on. So, as I say, Rishi Sunak trying to strike what is a fairly delicate balance at the moment, and there are certainly some in his party and outside his party who aren't quite convinced he's got that balance right just yet.
Ollie, thank you for that. Ollie Barrett there in London.